Oh, yes. Okay. So, so far, having a great day, great penitential day. I was off today from installations, but I was on the road acquiring one definite and one potential job. So just keep me in your prayers for that. Um, I have a great. I gotta tell you something. I am going to start a wallpaper school, and I'm going to go to various cities where wallpaper sales are high. And I'm going to rent a place for about a week, simulate a wallpaper installation on several stage walls, just like you see at a play. Remember in high school? They'd set up a stage. Wow. And so I'm going to advertise in a city for the school. I think it would be popular around the end of the school year, since youngsters are getting out of high school not knowing what to do, and I would target these types of people. And you know who you would target. If you're trying to speak to an 18-year-old about work, who do you think you would target? Take a guess. His mommy. Because 18-year-olds today, forget about 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds today are still living home with their mommies. And so if you advertise to the moms, I would, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to advertise, come to my wallpaper school for a week, and I will have you installing. I'll give you the basic skills for wallpaper installation. You can cut around bathrooms, sinks, kitchen cabinets, and hang straightaway wallpaper. And I will give out certificates during the class for the top, second, and third student. And then, check this plan out. Now, think about it. What would you pay to go to a professional wallpaper school to learn a skilled trade? I'll have beginner's course and I'll have advanced course. The beginner's course has got to be $1,000, maybe $1,200. Maybe $1,000 for tuition, $200 for your tools. And so if you get 20 students, in a city, shouldn't be that hard to get, right? And the beautiful thing about it is you can come back and do it the next year, because there's new graduates and there's new people looking for work. And you could take this show around the country. What are the big cities that sell wallpaper? LA, New York, Chicago, Boston, Tampa Bay. I don't want to be hanging wallpaper anymore. And I don't want to be hiring wallpaper. I quit. I don't like you. I quit. Bye. Go hang wallpaper. I'm going to teach it. You got to admit it's a good idea. Secondly, I go to the wallpaper stores. Not the stores, but the distributors and things. I need some of your wallpaper because I'm going to have a school. I need you to sponsor. Give me some of your wallpaper. And then we'll get free wallpaper. and we'll feature it on the school, and we'll do an endorsement and all of that. And we will make some money, won't we? What do you think about that plan? Isn't that a good plan? I thought so. The Sacred Heart blessed my... I never told you this, but I did. I don't want to get into it, because I'm not... it really doesn't... Money to me is not important, really. But we got to work, right? So... I mean, it's important, but it's not my goal, you know? So anyway... I just came back from the whole rosary in front of the Blessed Sacrament. So after each 5 decades, I get up and I take a walk around the church. Come back, hit it again. Get up, take a walk, come around to the last of the 15 mysteries. And I said, Jesus, this is in reparation to thy Sacred Heart for all of the outrages and indifference that people have towards you. I'm here, Jesus, for you. And I asked the Blessed Mother to please bring my petitions to him. And it was really beautiful. Okay? And so I want to talk about the Holy Hour, since tonight is Thursday. Now, Jesus asked St. Margaret Mary to do a special hour each week. And I want to prepare you for tomorrow. All right? I want to prepare you for tomorrow. Listen, be devoted to Jesus. He's got something that he's going to give you. Not for that purpose, but he makes these promises to us. We may as well take him up on his promises, right? Blessed Mother, make us worthy of the promises of Christ, right? This is it. This is like the best devotion, man. Oops, sorry. I hate to talk like that. I'm sorry. Not really. It's really, not nice. I get it, believe me. Okay. Let's see where the holy hours are. I know a guy who goes every time, like... You just... I feel like saying, you're not really laughing. What are you doing? Sound like you're trying to start a motorcycle that was manufactured in 1975. They used to go like this. Jump up and come down on that crank start. Ooh, beautiful. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God. This is beautiful. I can't get into it though, because I'm looking for something. I'll read this one thing. Vocal prayers recited during the visit to the Blessed Sacrament should be short, but tender and affectionate. The simplest and least affected are best. Prayers during the visit should come from the heart. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, you want to hear this? The priest going to the altar should consider himself no longer as a man, but as Jesus Christ, who is about to speak by the priest's mouth and offer himself by his hands. Oh my goodness. I'm going to send this to a priest with whom I'm friendly. I'm sending this to a very holy priest. If you do not become on fire for the love of Christ, your heart is cold. I'm sorry. I don't expect anybody watching this not to become inflamed with the love of God. It's truly amazing. Father, please. F-L-I-E-S-S. He's offering 5 masses for my intentions in April. He's writing me back. It'll be some humble statement. Yes, by God's mercy and goodness, thank you for sending that. Thank you for being my priest. Beautiful. I love Catholics. I really do. They get it. Look what he writes. It is the goodness of our Lord that gave us priests. I want to go over the Holy Hour. Persevere in your prayers, okay? Persevere in your prayers. He'll do that too. Father Felice will go to that altar. It says the priest should go to the altar as if he's no longer a man, but as Jesus Christ himself, who is speaking through the man of the priest. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is just amazing. If you're at the Mass that's offered in union with Bergoglio Francis, tell God you'd do anything. Tell him you'll do anything. If it's not really his Mass, tell him you'll do anything. He wants what's best for you. And then wait and see where he brings you. Okay? Do you really want to be going to a mass that is doubtful? You know, I don't have the authority to tell anybody, but, you know, I gave up a lot to have the true faith, you know. I was shaking in the car going up to see Bishop McKenna in April of 2007, shaking like, you know, like, please, I don't want to lose my soul. Begging God to show me if this was the truth, because I was in a church that allows people to date man and woman while they're married to other people. So a man and woman, they break away. Man and wife. Keep me in your prayers so that I can be faithful to my calling. I have been, oh my gosh. Father's keeping me in the memento of the Mass. I'm having been remembered you at the memento since I think that I remember to do so every day. I'm so grateful. Okay. Now, on page 273 is your meditation for tomorrow. I'm sorry, no, tomorrow's not First Friday. But for First Friday, there's these meditations. Like, this is my life now.
Hi Spencer, it's Reagan Reynolds. I just emailed you and I'm feeling like it's so late to call you, but...
Oh no, that's all right. I dream about wallpaper anyway. No, I'm glad you called. Let me ask you something. Have we communicated before? I'm sorry if I forget. Oh, okay. Oh. How did you know? Oh, okay, because I answered with my name. It's you were so friendly. I said, she sounds so friendly, like I thought we spoke before. Yeah, I'm from. Yeah. I saw you. You're Somerset, New Jersey. I'm from New York. New York. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, wonderful. Don't you miss? Tell me honestly. Don't you miss the bagels and the pizza? Be honest. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cappies? I think so. Is that St. Pete? Oh, Riverview's nice. Oh, Fishhawk? Beautiful area in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. But the place is beautiful. I mean, come on. Your environment is so beautiful there. I love it. You're kidding me. Good for you. 17-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. That's amazing. That's great. No, she'll keep you young. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. No, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I wish that were I. Yeah, I remember those. I remember those. I tell you honestly, I was a police officer up in New York, and I used to come home after a midnight, and then I would lock myself in the room with my son, and I would just have to take a 2-hour nap while he, like, played near me. I don't think it was a full sleep, but I gotta be honest, I was sleeping while this kid was awake. You know? Oh yeah, I was a police officer. Yeah. Now it was a good experience, and what can I say? I mean, that's where I got my New York attitude. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I love it. No, no, I don't miss the police. No, 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 no. You know what? You can have all the brass. I was a lieutenant, and you're not in charge of anything. You got to be politically correct. You got to do every. They call you in for everything. Why'd you do that? You shouldn't have done that. Oh, because the book says so. We don't care what the book says. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you can tell. You know what? When I'm in the car and I'm driving, and when I used to have my New York tag still on my vehicle, I would hear driving on the side, but doing 60 miles an hour. Beep beep. I'm looking over. The guy's like screaming at me out the window. I said, "What did I do to you?" And at the red light, he goes, "Where you from?" I said, "What do you mean where am I from?" He goes, "You're from New York, me too." I thought the guy wanted to assault me. I said, "Calm down, buddy." He said, "Where you from?" The light's green. I take right off. I'm not telling you where I'm from. Aren't they? Especially with the cell phones in their hands. Yeah, yeah. I like that fast lane stuff. I just got I was doing, I, I just got a new truck, and I was doing 90. I said, "Whoa, slow down!" And I had a guy behind me, beep beep. I said, "Whoa!" I'm glad he beeped me, because I said, "What is this guy doing?" And I realized, "Whoa, 90? That's a definite ticket in Florida." I just got out of his way and I hit the brakes to 75. So tell me about your wallpaper. Yeah. That's awesome. When you say temporary, are you talking about peel and stick? Um, and so you haven't? Do you know what? This is getting interesting. Wonderful. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't think like that, because that was Aunt Sally when the wallpaper didn't come down. The wallpaper comes down very easily today, because installers are very familiar with priming, the necessity for priming, and also the wallpaper is made differently. and there's no more disasters unless you put it up wrong, like putting it up right over sheetrock without sealing the. Yeah. No, have no fear with that. I don't want you to do it either. I'd rather you have me do it. To be honest. Oh, you have a mural? Is it a mural? Oh yeah. That's awesome. Now, would you mind taking a picture of the wallpaper just in the package? Anything identifying, and just send it to me on the following phone number? Could you take down? Thanks. That sounds great. So she cut them. This sounds interesting. This is not peel and stick. Oh yeah, Etsy. Yeah. No, you got to say China, like Trump. China. All right. This no. If you just send me the pictures, I'll know what I'm up against. Then send me a picture of the walls on which the wallpaper will go, with a nice light on in the room. Even though it's at night, no big deal. So just send me 2 pictures. And how about Saturday? Are you available Saturday to do this? Well, I have a crew, and yeah, I'll be on one job, and I will go to your house and leave my guy there, and so that he can install them. How's that? Or do you request me personally? Awesome. Well, we'll straighten that out. Awesome. That would be great. And pics of the wall and the wallpaper, and then we'll go from there. How's that? What's your name? Oh wow. Okay, cool. That sounds like Reagan Ronald. Well, that's fine too. I liked Ronald Reagan. He was cool. All right, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do that. Thanks a lot for the call. And I don't mind you calling late. I don't mind. I'm up and about. All right, I'm thinking about wallpaper. It's on my mind. What's that? Yeah, actually, I want to tell you something. I'm starting a wallpaper school, and I'm going to take my teaching. I don't know if you saw any of my videos. Oh yeah. I know the video you were looking at. That is awesome. Yeah. That was in Estero, Florida. It came out really nice. Yeah, that was those. That was a model home, and they that was I don't know, about 9 months ago, and it came out beautifully. It is beautiful stuff. You know what you'd probably like? A light blue grass cloth. That is gorgeous. I've hung green, light green, dark blue, but the light blue is. Oh, I just did a light blue. It's on. I did it in Sarasota. It's gorgeous stuff. Check it out on Philip Jeffries Extravaganza. That's what the name of my video is, and I have a light blue grass cloth. So beautiful. Okay, the seams on grass cloth. Well, if you're talking about picture framing it, guess what? You have no seams. That's the beauty of picture framing grass cloth. Secondly, if you don't do picture frames, you're going to have a seam every 36 inches that's quite visible, but it's that's the way grass cloth is. It's a product that comes right out of the earth, and they spool it together, and they that's the look. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I love it too, and it's classy stuff. I just convinced my doctor friend. I said I came up to his house right around Christmas, and I said, "Look, I want to install your. Let's do some grass cloth in his house." He loved it. Check out that video. It's green, and it's really beautiful grass cloth. It has little panels. It's a little high-end grass cloth, so it was a little pricey, but still the material was so beautiful. It's a hunter green. Right on YouTube, if you do grass cloth Spencer Colgan, you'll see it's a really pronounced green grass cloth, and I go through I do all these videos on it. You'll see it. It's like my green grass cloth installation back in December. Yeah, thanks a lot. Listen, I look forward to meeting you and your husband and getting this done for you. How's that? Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to shut the video off and do a part 2. Please forgive me. You are welcome. That is an important part of priesthood. Compare for every high priest. This is what Father wrote. You are welcome. That is an important part of priesthood. Compare for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in the things that appertain to God, that he may offer up gifts and sacrifices for sins, and therefore he ought, as for the people, so also for himself to offer for sins. Hebrews 5:1-3. These are such beautiful words, Father. Semicolon. Thank you very much. All right. I'm sorry about that. I hope you didn't get turned off and shut me off. I want to go over the holy hour. I know it's in here. I just can't find it. I'm sorry. I know it's in here. Just please bear with me. And if you guys watch this on recording, you could just fast forward it and go past the phone call. I just didn't want to shut it off, that's all. I can't find the holy hour. It's so frustrating. I mean, I know it's right here. I won't bore you. I'm just going to skip it. I know we're going to get to it. I just don't know where it is. Holy Mass. Holy Communion. Okay, I'm just gonna skip it. I don't know where it is. Gosh. Okay. Okay. Part of business is schmoozing your customers. It's just part of the deal, if you can, as a wallpaper installer, if you can win the heart of the wife, you got the job. That's how it works. Because the women are the ones who generally make the choice about where things are going in the house, etc. And men just, you happy with them? Okay, just hire them. That's it. That's how it works, to be honest with you. Okay. Practically now, let's continue where we left off before. The afternoon is a most suitable time for visiting Jesus Christ in the Blessed Sacrament in order to honor his Sacred Heart by our love and homage. As it is the time when people think least about Jesus Christ, and when few people visit him, those who visit him at this time are sure of being well received. We know this already. We read this before. Okay. And then he goes on to say, after dinner, you should be able to go and visit him. Okay. At night now, before you go to bed, let's go right to this. What are we supposed to do at night? This is every night. Before bed. Talking right before bed. Your last thoughts, okay? At night before retiring to bed, we should adore the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Regarding it as a sanctuary. It is a sanctuary. Wow. A place of retreat in which we are going to repose. Of repose. We should again thank Jesus Christ for having instituted the Blessed Sacrament. See? This constant repetition of ideas, it becomes habitual. Thank him for Eucharist. Thank him for the Blessed Sacrament, the greatest of all benefits, both on our own behalf and for those ungrateful ones, alas, very numerous, on behalf of ourselves and ungrateful men. Do you see how plenteous is this devotion? Right? It's beautiful. We should make several acts of contrition. And acts of love. Wow. This will turn your spiritual life into you'll be a saint. I mean, can you think of a better way to show your love for God? Acts of love to a God who is so amiable and who loves us with an infinite love. St. Aloysius Gonzaga was accustomed before going to sleep to recite 3 Hail Marys in order to put himself under the protection and, as it were, in the heart of the Blessed Virgin. Then he made a profound bow in the direction of the church to adore the Blessed Sacrament. Let's do it. Say 3 Hail Marys and bow. You know what? You woke up prostrating yourself. Go to sleep prostrating yourself. Let's do a prostration. Prostration. To the Lord. This is beautiful, my goodness. Are you getting the same impression as I am? Asking the Sacred Heart of Jesus in adoration. So we're going to do that in adoration. Okay? Asking the Sacred Heart to watch unceasingly over Holy Church, and especially over those who love him tenderly. And begging to be preserved through his mercy from all the snares of the devil. And begging, he says, begging. God doesn't owe us anything. To be protected from the devil. protesting that it was in the Sacred Heart that he wished to take his rest, and saying with the psalmist, "In peace, in the self-same, that is, in thee, my supreme good, I will sleep and I will rest." The above are some practices which we suggest for the exercise of the devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. As true love of Jesus Christ and special respect and veneration for the Blessed Sacrament are the characteristic of this devotion and all its exercises, so all those who practice this devotion should be distinguished by these certain marks of the ardent love of Jesus Christ, by their assiduous attention, by their profound respect and great reverence before the Blessed Sacrament. That is to say, ardent love for Jesus Christ and special devotion to the adorable sacrament of the Eucharist should be distinctive marks of their character. Supreme reverence for Blessed Sacrament and love for Jesus Christ should be identifiable. I'm so sorry about that phone call. I wish I could pause it, I wasn't able to pause it. Okay, so I can't wait to share with all of you the notes that I'm going to write for you. I'm going to write you notes and I'm going to share it with you. This love for Jesus Christ should be the source of all their desires. Okay, this love for Jesus Christ should be the source of all their desires, the end of all their thoughts, the principal object and motive of all these practices. Okay, so love for Jesus Christ, he's telling you, should be the motive for all of this. Okay. If we are faithful in the observance of these practices, we shall certainly feel the perfect love of Jesus Christ increase perceptibly in our souls. Stupid me. Don't. Oh my gosh, I do stupid things. Okay. Now, if we are faithful in the observance of these practices, we shall certainly feel the perfect love of Jesus Christ increase perceptibly in our souls. No need to write that, right? We'll feel it. It's going to come. This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ. I don't care anymore if any... how could you not... St. John Vianney used to get up. He would talk about the Blessed Sacrament. He would cry at the pulpit. He would cry. I don't care. This brings tears to my eyes. Listen to this. Listen to this. Take this to the bank, okay? This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ. How could this not make somebody cry? This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ that he can refuse nothing to those who practice it. Did you just hear that? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that beautiful? This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ that he can refuse nothing to those who practice it. please ask Jesus if there's a place where he wants you to be. And ask him to get you there. Tell him you'll do anything to be there. Can he refuse? This is so exciting. And you know, it's not the motive for the devotion. The motive is not, he'll give me anything, let me go be devoted. No. He's going to test you. He's going to see why you're there. He knows why you're there. He's not seeing anything. He's not learning anything. But he's going to make you realize why you're there by holding back and perfecting your virtue. This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ that he can refuse nothing to those, to whom? To those who practice it. Can he deny those who don't practice it? Yeah. But this devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ that he can refuse nothing to those who practice it. Who is Father Croiset to say something like that? He's the man chosen by Jesus Christ to write this book. He was the confessor to St. Margaret Mary. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. If you want to know the Catholic faith, you got to go back and read the old stuff. This book was written in the 1700s. I'm sorry, in the 17th century. Don't listen to people today who tell you. I have a friend. He's suffering from a physical malady. I've told you about him before. He's so offensive. I don't take his calls. I can barely tolerate him. I said, you gotta pray, you gotta change. He says, yeah, you know what? Prayers are answered spiritually. Blasphemy. It's blasphemy. It's prayers. In other words, God doesn't hear your prayers for temporal favors. Blasphemy. Because he's too lazy to pray. That's the problem. He's a Netflix junkie. I'm sorry. I'm offended by his... And what is he doing to me? Discouraging me? No thanks. I don't communicate often with people like that. Isn't that beautiful? Now remember, Jesus is going to show you. He's going to make you pray. And you're going to... You keep crying in front of our Lord, begging and begging and begging. Eventually, he's going to say, I can't take this person anymore. I can't take it. Just give it. Listen, page 187 in this book. When you get down and you get discouraged tomorrow, because you know what happens in the spiritual life. You're revved up, then the devil is like, let's go. Work on him. Work on her. And then all of a sudden, you forget what you learned yesterday. And that's where God says, you got to keep praying to me. This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ that, now listen, he can refuse nothing to those who practice it. He made this promise to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, whom he used to propagate this devotion. This has been confirmed by the experience of those who have practiced this devotion, and it is finding additional confirmation every day. He made this promise to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque. How does he know? She used to confess her sins to him. Isn't that beautiful? Jesus Christ can refuse nothing. To those practicing. Now that's something. And this is beautiful. Why am I excited about it? Because I want something from God. I want something from Him. Obviously, we all want something. Come on. And I know what I have to do. I got to go visit Him. I got to tell Him I love Him. I got to spend time in the church. I'm so glad I'm not working as much, but I'm making the same money. I'm not working as much. Last year I worked. This is the time I would get home. Last year at this time, 9 o'clock at night, 9:30. After leaving, I'm not doing that anymore. It's crazy. But that's what it took to build my business. I had to work hard for a year. And look, I just got a call from somebody. Oh my gosh. I better text that woman. She's sending it to the wrong thing. Hi. This is Spencer. Perhaps you sent the pictures to the phone on which you called me, semicolon. That phone does not receive text messages. Therefore, comma, please send your communications to this number. Full stop. Thank you very much. This is Spencer Colgan. Woman has a 17-year-old and a 2-year-old. That's what she told me on the phone. I said, good for you. She says, well, hey, kids are a blessing, right? I wanted 10 kids. My parents had 8. I wanted 10. But I only have 3. I can't. I'm so excited. I want to show this to my brother. It's just beautiful. Wow, that's pretty stuff. This love for Jesus Christ should be the source of all their desires, the end of all their thoughts, the principal object and motive of all the practices. I mean, really, we have to keep thinking about how much God loves us and how little He's loved. How many of us who love God go to church, we get on our knees to pray, and we petition Him. We forget about acts of love, acts of adoration, acts of thanksgiving. Not the best way to pray, right? He's not offended by that. But it's not the best. It's not. We have to thank the King, right? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the idea. Hold on, I'm sorry. I gotta do business. Sorry, just fast forward if you have to. How many squares? This devotion is your love for Jesus, your desire to make up for those who don't love him. I mean, Jesus has a tender heart. He said to one of his saints, I know I'm God, I have everything, but I feel that I lost everything when my people don't love me. This devotion is so pleasing to Jesus Christ. That he can refuse nothing to those who practice it. He made this promise to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, whom he used to propagate it. Now, don't demand that God do anything. Just beg. Remembering he owes us nothing, but will give us everything. So suffer through this time. It's going to come. Oh, I've been praying for this. Get yourself a prayer bucket. Get yourself whatever, a meter, a counter, whatever. And as you see your prayers adding up, you have to remember them by little papers and little things. He remembers them. He already sees how many prayers you're going to offer. He's inspiring them. If he gives you what you want, it's because he inspired you to want it. It's true. He's not. You don't change the mind of God. His will is set. It is set because the will of God cannot change because he's perfect. If it could change, that means he perceives something new and better. Oh, I see. This is better. That implies imperfection. God is perfect, therefore he knows all things before, during, and after they occur, in time and eternity. And so his mind doesn't change. What he does do is inspire your prayers so that he can give you what you work for by your prayers and impudence, your labor, your laborious prayers, your efforts. Things that he won't give you unless you put the time in. He didn't change his mind. He said, this will require this. Unless he or she achieves this, he will not get it. It's that simple. One, two. Hold on one second. To look gorgeous. Full stop. Are you sure you have enough to cover all of these areas? Question mark. Oh, man. Okay. The details about the wall covering, full stop. Is it vinyl? Question mark. Is it paper? Question mark. It should be on a little white piece of paper. Specs of the wall covering. It should be on a little white piece of paper. In concluding this chapter, we ask all of you to bear the following points in mind. Never forget to adore the Sacred Heart of Jesus tenderly and affectionately each time that you present yourself before the Blessed Sacrament. Oh my goodness. 1. Never forget to adore the Sacred Heart of Jesus tenderly. Adore. Oh my goodness. You know what he wants? He wants a lover. That's what he wants. Did you ever read the Revelations of St. Gertrude the Great? She rested her head on his heart. He would appear to her and she would rest her head on his heart. Adore the Sacred Heart tenderly. And affectionately, with affection. Each time you present yourself. You know something? I read this book already. I didn't get from it what I got from it now. I wonder why. Maybe I wasn't ready. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I'm so glad I found this in my life. I don't want to be a mediocre Catholic. I don't want to be someone who just goes to Mass and avoids mortal sin. No, I don't want that. I don't do anything halfway. You know what I'm saying? Why do that in life? Why do, no. Visit our Lord as often as possible. I'm so fortunate. I'm right near the church. I moved here to be right near the church. And there's a miraculous story surrounding my acquisition of the home in which I live. Quite a miraculous story. Well, I wouldn't call it miraculous, but it was... I defeated an impossible situation in order to get this house. And I want to tell you about it privately. One day. I don't want to put it on the internet. Seriously. Beautiful story. With great reverence. Respect. Okay, I should be reading this out loud. So each time you go to visit the Blessed Sacrament, visit him with tenderness and affection. 2, visit our Lord as often as possible with great respect and reverence. You know what I did now in the church? You can't walk in with your hands flying, like, you know how we walk? How about this? Just join them together. You're in front of God. So you don't feel like embarrassed. Oh, no. We don't get embarrassed. We know who we're in front of. We don't care what people think. Who cares? Joining your hands together, looking down. If you're making eye contact with people at church, you're doing something wrong. I don't like when people say hello to me in church. It drives me nuts. Hey, Spencer. I ignore them. Not to embarrass them, but this is not the time to be saying hello. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the right time to do it. You know, hi. It's not a meeting hall. That's it. 3, recommend this devotion to people of every walk of life. to everybody. And guess what I'm going to do? Today, one day, we will promote this devotion together. I am going to print this up and give this to every head of household in my parish. There you go. What's this? Well, I read the book, I made notes, then I made an outline, and here it is. And everybody will be able to understand it. That's what I'm going to do. So recommend the devotion to everybody and propagate the devotion. Now, let's just think practically here, okay? I'm done with this chapter. You will be, I think you will be attacked by evil forces as you do this devotion. I mean, the devil prowls about, seeking whom he may devour. I don't know if it's still recording, but as soon as I started talking about that you'll be attacked, the video stopped. So we'll wait till it starts again. I'm used to this garbage. My screen is frozen. I don't know if it's... So I'm not going to speak. If you can hear me, I'm going to wait till the screen starts moving again. Okay. We will make 3 separate rows. 36, 26, right. Okay, very good. Let me call this one up. Listen, if you can hear me, God bless you. It's frozen. It's frozen, and it's no big deal because I've finished it. And tomorrow we will resume. If you can, do a holy hour tonight. If you can hear me, do a holy hour tonight. Is the day before Friday, and so every week on Thursday, St. Margaret Mary would get out of bed. She had the permission. Jesus said, "Put your face to the ground and beg for the conversion of sinners. Make reparation to my Sacred Heart. Beg for all your petitions." You know, let me tell you something funny. I did that once. First of all, at that night, I hope you can hear me. I'll see. I did that, and I literally got a rug burn on my nose. Not only did I almost fall asleep doing it, because it's late at night, you got your face on the ground, and the friction of speaking to keep me awake, it put a rug burn on my nose. So I had a red nose. I don't know how she did it. Something's gonna get a burn, a friction burn, your forehead or your nose. And I realized, you know, that is I mean, you may be laughing. I wasn't. I was battling exhaustion and the pain of having my flesh excoriated by the rug on which I was resting my head while I was praying. So anyway, if you find that funny, good for you. I look like one of Santa's reindeer. Anyway, it will not allow me to come back on.